Test. Oh, look, it's a crossfade thing. So uh, I could have the fish. Oh, I'm live and the audio is live. Look, I could have the fish as an overlay. How y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yamez here with Allen Metal Forge. Just a heads up, Sully is working, and we get to see some awesome rig moving stuff behind. And oh, somebody's tripping. Good to see them wearing their hard hats. Uh, Anywho, good morning, Stephen, Shane, Trail Dust, John Brunel's in the house. Uh, Getting down Jeff Killian, Paul Orchard, Drew Wilson, howdy, howdy. And that's everybody in right now. And I'm sure people will filter in throughout the morning. Uh, I'm having a bit of a sinus attack right now, so forgive that. Good evening, Speargrass. um, Sully is on audio mute, uh, can hear us, but can't speak right now. Will speak when a break happens. Um, so I'm running the show and nobody can tell me anything. Isotopes are evil. Isotopes need to be just taken out of this world. No more isotopes ever. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't need to unmute for that. Don't worry about it. This had to be done. um, so, what are isotopes, and can you forge? No, I'm just kidding. Um, so what's up, everybody? Bortagov popping in. Wayne Heights, good morning. Uh, yeah, there will be no. Well, we can go into the isotopes of personal protection. You know, uh, PPE and all that stuff. If you gather enough isotopes and crunch them together, you can make a leather apron. This is fact, and I don't have a scientist to disprove me. No, this is a perfect this is a perfect example of, you know, like when the boss is away, the kids will play. Good morning, Mr. Peck. How do, how do? Um, uh, my week, I'll get into that right quick. My week's been interesting. It's been busy as usual, but also like you ever have one of them weeks where you're busy, 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 like but like you really don't get anything done. It's been about like that, running around job site to job site, doing a little pop shot work here and there, and yeah, just kind of like I should have stayed at home. um, but yeah, so um, didn't get out to the shop itself much, but did get a chance to organize a little bit of the electrical side of my shop uh, with the help of Jim, one of my coworkers, uh, part-time coworker buddy. And I chatted with him, and he is down for coming over in the off time or staying late one day after work and helping me because he's got an organized mind, and you guys know my mind is. What's up, Eric Wentworth? Um, but he's more than happy. Well, he's more than happy to. You know how people are. To help me get my shop organized. So before we do that, I got to clean it, which is fine. It's just you know get a couple tables out there and sort my stuff on the tables, get stuff off the shelves. I'd really like one day to get all of the metal up off the floor in my storage area. It's spilled. I have so much steel; it's come off the shelves and it's on a pile on the floor. Uh, and you know, build some storage racks and all that fun stuff. So with that, what's up, Robert? Um, interesting news for for you longtime followers of the channel. Years ago, I lost a remote for my lighting, and I found it this morning. However, the battery's dead. Either the battery's dead, or this is not the remote for this lighting. It's a the same remote for a different set. Oh no! All I know is I push on, nothing happens. And change the battery, see if it works.
Hey, I want to know what does that say about how often you clean your couch?
No, you don't want to know that. I see.
I
No,
mean, because I slept on that couch, I'm a little scared now.
I clean the couch. I use the shop vac, and I get in there and everything. But I mean, when I say it was deep, I lost my TV remote, and I was digging and searching for the TV remote. Um, and like I had my, I was like shoulder deep up in my couch and found that. And yeah, um, but yeah. So we'll got that. We'll see if it works. If it does, I'll have like ambient background lighting again. It'll be nice. Um, says Drew Wilson says, Sully, get your head out of that window. Use the mirrors. That line breaks. It's not going to be good. Well, I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah, but that's like a 8,000 pound fuel tank with nothing in it.
Oh, so it's light. Yeah. Um, for your couch being deep, we could have
Now,
lost
if you watch
both.
the next piece is about 120,000 pounds. You will not see my face in the back window.
Steven says, for your couch being deep, Yamas, we could have lost Sully in it, and you would have to go elbow deep to find him. Yep. Just watch like, oh, found him. Now I got a puppet. uh, hiding time is upon you. Be safe, Wayne. Love you. Um, the couch was clean before Sully slept there. Now the couch is. the,
If
so,
anything, that couch is worth way more now that I've slept on it.
oh
It's a
no.
collector's item.
Anyway, so that was my week. um, yeah, just rainy and windy here. So yeah. All right, enough about the couch. Um, so I can pretty much sum up Sully's week and gave it an STD, a sleeping transmitted disease. I can sum up Sully's week. Work, 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 work. Lots of work. So much work, in fact, that uh, Sully is working right now, as we can see. So I thought it'd be a nice backdrop to have Sully doing what Sully do, lifting all these what's-a-hoogers. Yeah. Speargrass's week is the same as Sully's. Hi, Michael Robertson. But yeah, so um, we go on and we're going to discuss PPE again today. We touched on. We actually have an entire list of all the PPE in its various forms and iterations and areas of protection and this that and whatnot. We went over like eye protection and several other items on the list before. Um, but today we are going to go over front cover PPE for Yama's couch. Projectile protection. Um, Specifically, but not exclusively, aprons and shoes. Um, I guess that could extend also into uh, pant legs. Most people are guilty of forging in shorts. A lot of people say do not absolutely under any circumstances do that, but it's hot. And I can handle a little bit of scale hitting my leg, so I ain't worried about it. Uh, Scars heal. Glory lasts forever. um, but but yeah, engage your safety squints. We've talked about eye protection before, um, and just to brush up where that kind of does fall under projectile uh, protection because sparks
I just wanted
grinders.
to add right quick.
What's that?
I said I just wanted to add right quick. When we initially did the outline for the PPE episode, there were 41 line items to talk about, and so
We got through
what I
like
thought
eight.
was going to be an episode turns out is like, oh, we're going to get about 3 episodes out of this. So yeah, these have been in the can for a while.
Yeah, but always good to touch upon every now and then. It's kind of a reminder of be safe. It's not something that you want to breeze through, um, because if you're like brand new to forging and have no clue what you're doing, much like John Burnell. No, I'm just kidding, John. Love you. Um, much like I am, it's important to heed safety stuff. This is definitely, a lot of those maybe do as we say, not as we do. If you choose not to use proper PPE and you get injured, you have nobody to blame but yourself. There will be nobody there ever saying like, "Don't wear eye protection, don't," blah blah blah. And it's like, so yeah, um, kilts instead. Yes. What's up, Rob? Lubes. Um, but yeah, just a quick, brief, caveat or not caveat, but touching on eye protection. And I'm sure we discussed this in the episodes prior, but for projectile protection, a lot of things in the shop can go flying. Whether you're doing a hot cut and it gets away from you and launches across the camera screen and hits your wife in the arm, wagers, um, or grinding sparks, or even like you're standing at the fire and stuff's popping out. Um, there's a lot of dynamic energy in a shop, even if you're physically standing there doing nothing. If the shop is active, things can go flying at you know the drop of a hat. Uh, so a apron, like, I know Roy only uses the bottom half, but I'm sure like me, he's got a calloused belly, you know. What's up, Hubcat? No, I'm just kidding about the calloused belly, you know. Uh, but a full body apron, or an apron that protects the area around, where you're going to be around the anvil, primarily the crotchal area. Uh, prevent scale from popping in, any chunks of metal from popping off if you're drifting something, or if you're having Mr. John Boy Coffee or John Coffee striking for you as you're drifting a hammer, and shoots off a piece and goes into your arm. Eh, things happen. Stuff's flying around all the time. Uh, but man, those jokes are wasted, and neither of them are here. And call outs. But yeah, um, so an apron, when it's a nice thick leather apron. I think the bare minimum would be one of those Harbor Freight welding aprons, which is good for welding sparks and heat protection, sort of from welding. However, if you consider a a chunk of metal coming off of a struck drift, I don't have exact information. I'm sure it's out there, but that's traveling pretty freaking fast, and it's pretty hot. It's pretty pretty energetic. Uh, I've got holes in my old welding apron, my original apron from stuff getting popped off of it. And when I switched and I got an apron from Randy over at Newt's Leather and Metal Smith, Metal and Leather Smith. Yeah, Randy. It's such an amazing apron. You know, the actual leather, apron is really nice. Um, I've had stuff pop it. I've felt it, and it's like oof, oof, oof. Uh, Also, the nice feature for it is a copper plate. If you have a belt sander, and you stand there grinding, and the belt is throwing stuff right at your chest, or anything that you're working on throws stuff right at your chest. Uh, Standing there long enough, without something right there, like I've ground it just in my shirt, and I've burned holes right there in shirts, and it's like, uh, so it's like, that copper plate's a lifesaver. Um, Hey, I'm forward to Christmas gnome tonight. I might, I might try that. I've never actually done a gnome, so might give it a shot. Um, what's up, paper hands? but uh, but yeah. So just in general, the nice leather apron, you know, to protect from random stuff popping off, scale popping off. It's long, protects your legs so that you can wear shorts. Um, and just kind of all the general stuff, heat protection, whatever. Uh, John Burnell, I had a chunk of chisel stuck in the side of my abdomen for a while. I was in my doctor's and told her about it, and she decided to remove it immediately. I guess 5 years is too long to store shrapnel. Absolutely. Robert Lonis, I can't seem to wear glasses without them digging up on me. Um, Fogging up. Well, are you wearing goggles or glasses? Um, I when I'm wearing safety glasses in my shop, especially in the dead of summer, I have to constantly step aside and take them off and wipe the sweat off of them. 'Cause I'll be looking down working and just sweat dripping off my face, just pools in the glasses. So, um, so yeah, I'm constantly doing that. Bloobs says lick your glasses to keep them from fogging up. Uh, that would work, kind of like a snorkel mask, or a dive mask. And yeah, John Burnell asked, good point. If you're wearing a dust mask, and then that goes breath right up into the glasses. Um, but uh, but yeah, so along with man, this is going to be a quick topic without without people to go back and forth with. um, but yeah. Uh, Oh, another good thing an apron can protect you from. How many times have you heard of or seen people or done it yourself been using a angle grinder with either a wheel or a wire wheel, and it and catches, spins up in your shirt. Um, that wouldn't happen if you're wearing an apron. Save a lot of shirts. Um, Granddad, that's a good idea. You could put the Rain-X anti-fog stuff on it. Uh, but yeah, to go along and actually to move down the body with aprons, aside from the full body apron like the one that I have, you have the style that Roy has, which is basically like a cummerbund, a belly protector with flaps that go down and protect the thighs. Um, that is more specialized, because you're working at that level, and the scale popping off is at that level, and anything that really pops off would be at that level for normal work. um, you just have to accept that, occasionally a cold will pop and burn your shirt. uh, but you're wearing cotton only shirts and not synthetics and plastics, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? More on that later. Uh, let's see. John Brunel, I'm starting to think I'm a little accident prone, right? You had an angle grinder wire stuck in your eye. Oh, that sucks. I, you know, eye protection is it's not 100% unless you're wearing like super goggles. I actually was drilling a hole in a brick wall for work one day. I had eye protection, and a chunk of the brick popped up, hit me here, bounced off the inside of the eyeglass, and then got stuck up in my. I actually had to go to the doctor and get it removed. Uh, Quick $300 down the drain, and you know 3 or 4 days where I couldn't see anything and was having trouble working.
I remember when that happened, Yamez, and I remember chewing your ass because you didn't have any eye protection, and you're like, I did have my safety glasses on. I was like, oh, all right then.
Yeah. um, so it's like, yeah. Robert Lonis, I find that aprons that attach to your legs as well are more comfortable. Yeah, much like chaps. You have aprons that go down and just to, allow for mobility and I'll tell you one thing about an apron. It can quickly turn into an issue if it's not tight and like controlled. If you just hang it up and it's just dangling down and flopping around, it can get caught up in things as you're walking. It can, snag on things, and it's like, "Ugh!" Happened to me until I got the cross your back style, that keeps it nice and tight to the body. Almost like armor. Um, Bortagov. After lighting myself on fire, I learned not to wear synthetics. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, so yeah, to touch on that real quick, since we have the time, uh, you want to wear like cotton and natural fiber clothing and such in the shop, um, because the synthetic clothing, synthetic fabrics, they're made of plastic essentially, and they melt. And while some instances that can be all right, in most instances, when you have melted plastic on you, it continues to burn and you can't get it off, and it can get really bad really quick. Uh, that's why leather is so important. Um, but yeah, back to top. You guys can pull me off topic, you know, like handing a fat kid a Twinkie. Like, oh, okay. Uh, um, but yeah, so moving down, getting the full leg protection, especially if you're one to wear shorts, um, and you don't like the scale popping off the anvil and dropping down into your boots. There's two options there: having leg protection that goes all the way down to cover the top of the boots, or what Sully did once was forging in, was it flip flops or flats or something like that, and took a couple pieces of leather, put a strap on the top, and strapped them to the ankles to cover the tops of the shoes. Uh, so any scale dropping down will just bounce off of that, as opposed to going in between the toes or down the, the collar of a boot. And I'm sure we've all been there. Even wearing boots, it's like and done the scale dance, the hot slag dance. Roger T. Nylon sticks to the skin when on fire. Yep, absolutely does, sir. Good morning, John Jude. No gloves, as Switzer recommended, is my big favorite advice. Um, I believe we've touched on gloves before. Let me actually check my list and see where gloves fall on it. But yeah, gloves are a hotly debated topic, I would say. Um, yeah, here's the pictures. And we're not really going to go into them right now. Gloves. Yeah, we covered that. Uh, Leather, welding, latex, heat proof. um, but like I said, Sully came up with whether it was an idea that Sully had or it's an existing product, I don't know. But basically, shoe covering for if you're uh, not wearing good leather boots. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, yeah, that was just because I when I flew up north, I did not want to bring boots and shoes, so I just brought shoes, and I was like, I need something because they're mesh, they're that plastic mesh shoes, and while comfortable, and they let my feet breathe during the summertime, they're not real good with scale. So when scale hits the it just melts right through. So I thought, well, I've got this extra leather. I wonder if I could cut something out and figure out a way. And thought about it for a minute, and then yeah, I just built like this little. It's basically like the little cone that goes around your dog's head or something like that, but you wrap it around your ankle. And it covers your, it's made out of leather. I crimped on some snaps, and then Bob's your uncle. You got leather shoe coverings.
Yeah.
Right? It was like an apron. It was they were like what I called them shoe aprons or something like that. And I mean, it was just a one-time thing, And after we got done
Aprons.
with the spring fling there, I just threw them in the trash and went on. It was like, yeah, if I ever need another set, I'll make them. But
Shaprins.
shaprons, there you go.
Suprins.
Yeah, you know how cool those were.
Yeah. Demonetized.
Hey, no. That comes with the soundboard, so it's not copyrighted.
All right.
Wait, our stream has been suspended again.
What's up, Deranged? Roger T calls them leather spats. So it is a thing.
Oh
Granddad
yeah.
says they have spats for boots at work. So it
Oh,
is
I have
it
no
is a
idea.
thing.
I did not know. I just thought, hey, this would be handy, so I built them.
John Burnell calls them metatarsal covers.
That is fairly accurate.
Absolutely.
Metatarsal protection units.
I suppose the next step up would be what most, not all, most people use would be steel toe boots. And actually, if you give me a minute, if y'all know my shoes, my boots, I know you guys rarely see them. Grab one. I get cheapy boots from home or from Walmart about once every year or two, and yeah, they get just destroyed. Like I just gone boots, you know. As no es bueno on a job site or in a forge. Um, Actually, what I might do is rip out the steel toes on those and see if I can forge them. That'd be a fun show. I might do that tonight. Um, forge.
I've pulled those out a couple times. Like some old boots or whatever, and that was a long time ago though. So I have no idea what kind of steel those are. That's
Well,
an interesting.
I'll
I
try
bet
and
they're mild steel.
yeah, I'll bet they are too. I don't. I actually don't know because they're supposedly rated to certain stress points.
Right.
They might be spring steel, so that they flex and not bend and hold shape. You know.
You drop something on them heavy enough, they take a dent, and that dent stays in it.
Well, a dent is not a bend. I've had a vehicle roll over one of my steel-toed shoes, and nothing happened. Hindsight, after that, I kind of panicked a bit because the could have happened was the steel-toed boot ripped off and cut off my toes, you know, like it popped off the seams and
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That could have happened. Now, well, anyways, yeah, boots. That we already discussed that, didn't we? Or is boots in this one? Oh no.
boots is right now. That's why I have
Oh,
boots.
okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I was saying, and it is a common myth that the steel toe is designed to cleanly chop off your toes with enough weight or whatever. Yeah, that doesn't. MythBusters tried that, and then no, it crushes them quite smoothly.
Yeah. Well, it was just the mental image of the steel toe ripping from the seam, and instead of bending, flipping up and crushing was my
Oh
fear.
yeah, for sure. With a cheap Walmart boot, I could totally see the stitches ripping out, and then the toe just goes like that.
Right. But these are my new boots. They're waterproof and leather and
And
brand
they're
new.
stilettos.
Huh?
And they're stilettos.
No, not quite, not yet. What I need to do, I can bend that up like that and then forge something to pin here to make them stiletto boots. You know, I can do that. I can make these into stiletto boots. Um, John Burnell says most aren't steel anymore; they are composite. No, yes, they do make composite-toed boots. However, they do not sell steel-toed boots as composites. Uh, like a pair of electrician boots are not steel-toed boots; they are composite-toed boots, and so that it's non-conducting. They're wrapped in leather; they're not going to be conductive. Um, and you got rubber soles. I don't see the draw electrically for that. However, um, if it
Well,
says steel toe, hmm?
can you explain to me why when I got a piece on and I touch a power line with it with a piece swinging, that the electricity arcs and jumps through my tire and does a fractal burn on my tire, so it jumps from the wheel into the tire and then out of the steel in the tire through the rubber into the ground.
That's the amperage, I believe,
Yeah,
or
8,000, 8,000, 24,000 volts,
the
whatever.
the, the volts. Yeah, it's enough that okay. So, for example,
I mean,
uh,
it'll pull a 4 foot arc.
yeah, depending on the amount of volts. I mean, without going into Ohm's law and all that stuff, and the super science behind everything, because I'm not the scientist. I just have a practical working knowledge of electricity. Um, Voltage can only jump so far. If you have enough of it, it can jump farther. So it's the current, push, and uh, that's why lightning can go so far, is it's super high voltage. Um, but if you're
Longest recorded lightning strike, 6,000 miles.
there, you go. Yeah. Um, but that's to be fair to lightning. Uh,
To be fair.
the air itself that is traveling through is conductive. It creates kind of that ion plasma tube
Sure.
thing, so it can travel a lot farther than it normally would, you know, because it creates its own channel of conductive ions. I think if I've got my freaking light science correct. uh,
Yeah, if you get hit by lightning, it really doesn't matter what kind of shoes you're wearing. I mean, it's a pretty good chance it's going to blow your feet off with your shoes, anyways.
right, Charles May. Is that Ozzy Osbourne? Eat a bat. um,
No.
Morning, Jack. But yeah, so the reasoning behind why when you hit a high voltage power line or high voltage instance, uh, it can pass through tires. Um, it's simply that it's because the voltage is high enough to jump that what 6-inch gap of from the rubber to the road or between the steel and the the ground.
Yeah, it's probably only 2 inches of rubber between the steel and
Yeah,
the ground.
yeah.
But
Get enough electricity, and that's nothing, or get enough voltage, and 2 inches of rubber is nothing. Um, that's why for like those high power lines, the high tension lines and everything, even some of the ones where you know what they can get a truck to it, they opt to hang a helicopter, hang from a helicopter and work on the lines. And what they'll actually do, and this is kind of amazing and very much side tangent from the main topic. um, Roger brings up a good point. The steel belts in the tire helps too, but they hang from a helicopter, and then they've got these. I actually have one of the clips in my garage um, that's used for this. Uh, you attach a line to the wire that you're working on, and then attach it to essentially your harness yourself and the helicopter, so that and that does like the equipotential. It basically you are now at the same voltage potential as the wire that you're working on. However, you're not grounded. You're far enough up that you're not grounded. Um, and then you work on the line safely, and then you unclip. Um, Pretty amazing. Electricity is pretty amazing when you really think about it. Yeah, the whole it's like ah, I'm not really going to go too deep into it, but electric wire system. Uh, they go, oh, electrons move at the speed of light, or electrons, yeah, or the electrons in it, and this and that. It's you go, if you have a longer wire, it should take longer from time to flip the switch to time to, for the light to turn on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, that's been proven not the case. You could have like, miles and miles and miles of wire, and you can flip the switch, and it still comes on at the same exact time. And that's because when you energize a circuit, you're creating an instant electromagnetic field along that whole circuit, and it's like the electricity, the energy is stored is in the wire already. It's just you're kind of getting it to move, and that's why all of that's anyway. Electricity is fascinating. um, Howdy, Bill. Whole tangent on today's topic, but talking boots. If you wear boots, and you do have a problem with scale or slag or whatever dropping into the tops of the boots, make sure that you're tightening that up when you're out there, or having um, what did they call it, a spat over that. And you can even go so far, if you're feeling comfortable, wrap a bit of tape around it, and boom, nothing will get in there. Um, but yeah, uh, my steel-toed boots, I wear them all the time. It's been really weird this past week or so, uh, past couple of weeks, not wearing my steel-toed boots in the shop or even at work, because they're so, well, just chunky. My old boots were just destroyed. Um, and it's like I I have a habit of, if I drop something, to prevent it from breaking or hitting the floor and damaging the floor, I'll catch it with the tip of my boot. And I made the mistake of doing that with I have that muscle memory, and I've been wearing either my, Deadpool flats, which are just like little canvas shoes, um, or my flip flops. And yeah, I've dropped a few things on my toes, and like put my foot on to catch it. I'm like, oh no. Um, is electricity a projectile? No, electricity would be an energy. You could use electricity to launch projectiles, but that goes into like rail guns and stuff like that. And I ain't going into the science behind that. That's all magnetics and magnetic theory, technology, and blah 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 blah. I'm not really messing with that. I think the scientists are shaking their head. I'm so wrong. I'm about to be corrected. Oh,
Well, if you guys are lucky, you're going to get to see me do some sketchy stuff today. Oh
time to
boy,
do some sketchy stuff.
I think they're going to have me pull the derrick out. So we'll see.
Hope we get away with it.
Yeah, doo dah. Hope we get away with it.
Yep. Um, but yeah, I don't. Should I not be going live when you do it?
Nah, it'd be fine.
Okay.
You don't know where I'm at.
The oil fields of Montana. Sparrow Rig Company. um, but yeah, yeah. So think about it when you're in your shop. It's a lot of the stuff with protection and as you know, considering steel-toed shoes. How many of you have that habit of uh, catching stuff with your foot? You know, or how many times have you dropped something on your foot? Uh, and go, oh, thank God I'm wearing my steel toe boots. Now imagine if you weren't. I actually might get demonetized for saying the word gun.
Yeah. So, yeah, no. Sorry, had a mic backwards. No, turns out I don't get to do that. We're waiting on a 24-wheeler to get here. So, darn it. I was
So
kind of excited. I was like, I've never pulled the derrick and drawworks on one of these before. It was like, I know it can be done. I've never done it, but oh well. I was just thinking, I was like, ooh, I don't think my brakes are going to hold.
it means you got time to chat while you wait the 20 hours for somebody else to get there.
Yeah, right. Well, they're moving another rig just down the road from us, and like this rig and the other rig, they're swapping a bunch of components. And so, like half of the stuff on this one's going to the new end of that one, and half of the stuff on the new end of that one's coming to this. It's a whole mess. And so, but our trucks are all on that rig, and they're all supposed to haul a load, and then they're all coming over here. So, yeah, the owner of the company just went to go run us down some trucks.
Right. Um, BC. um, Bill Corey. When I drop something, I attempt to get the heck out of the way. Rule number one in the shop: if you drop it, don't try to catch it. Now, I have been fighting this muscle memory still to this day, and I think I got it worked out of me because I worked in the kitchen where dropping something is an oh no moment. Uh, whether it's that steak that you've spent the past X amount of time cooking, and all time in the kitchen is go 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 go, or like it's the last piece of food to go on a plate so that order can go out, and it teeters and falls, and you've got to snap catch it. Now I'm going to give you guys this gross little kitchen behind the scenes thing. Most, if not all, uh, line workers in a kitchen, they keep the tops of their shoes clean. They wash them as much as they wash their hands because of that catch with the foot trick. You have no idea how many pieces of food I have seen fall, get caught by a shoe, picked up, and put on a plate.
Well, that's very appetizing, isn't it?
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh
But
huh.
hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it could literally fall on the floor, and you're not going to know the difference.
Right.
I mean, think about it like when you're out camping or something like this, and I mean not glamping, I mean camping, where you're hunting and fishing for your own food. I mean, you're filleting out a fish out on the rocks, and sticking a stick through it and holding it over a fire, and if it falls in the ashes, you pick it up, you brush it off, and you eat it anyways. I mean, it's no different than that, really.
Exactly.
As long as the food is thoroughly cooked, you're all right. Well,
Right.
mostly. I mean,
Um,
mean, you don't want to be picking up no E. coli from the mouse poop on the floor or nothing, but
Right. Well, yeah, you don't want to hit the floor in a kitchen. Floors are nasty. But I mean it when I
yeah,
say, kitchen workers will regularly like wash their shoes. Like they'll regularly take well, in the Keys it was all Crocs, kitchen Crocs. They'll take them off
yeah,
and hold the tops of them under the water and wash them with soap and water, and then drop it, put it on, pick up the other one, do that, and then wash their hands, and then get back to work.
yeah. Now I just got this mental image of like kitchen PPE where you've got like little saucers hot glued to the top of your shoes, so you can like reach out and like catch that steak with the saucer that's or little plate that's
That's
stuck on the front of your toe.
That's a good idea. I could market a novelty kitchen shoe that has saucers, plates attached, or even like a little clip that you can clip on plates to the tops of the shoes, little plastic plates, so that when drop something, you can whoop, caught
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it. That is a brilliant idea because it happens all all the time, you know.
Yeah,
Everybody's
sure.
like,
You betcha.
note to self, don't eat out.
Don't forget where that foods is a bins.
Yep, yep.
But I tell you what, that is the hardest impression to do is a squirrely Dan. Just like randomly adding a plural to the or making every word plural is very difficult.
I do it on accidents all the time. uh, but yeah, so that kind of goes into the pulling into the blacksmith shop, trying to de-teach or unlearn that habit. And without steel-toed shoes, I probably would have learned that habit a lot quicker, or unlearned that habit a lot quicker. um, but it is definitely, steel-toed kitchen or steel-toed boots has definitely saved my butt more times than not. If you look at the tops of these boots, they're all burned up, actually burned clean through to the steel. Going to make that really easy to pull that out. But yeah, tonight, for my uh, forging stream, I will take my old boots out there and cut the steel toes out of them and do something with them. You know, maybe it'll be something neat. Maybe I'll try and forge bells out of them or turn them into a bell or whatever. I'm thinking right now those would have made great bat wings.
Toilet spoon.
There
All you got to do is attach a handle.
you go. And actually, I think somewhere around here I have my my previous pair of steel-toed boots, unless I threw them away. I really need to remember to start saving the toes. But that's actually a good idea. Attach a handle and make a real good fire pot scoop. It would make a great fire pot scoop. You know, steel-toed jellyfish. Ooh, I love it. I love that idea. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun. I need to start collecting old steel-toed boots. Um, I don't know where all of mine are, but that's a good idea. Stinky bells, stinky bells. Yeah, I'm just forging shoes. Forge them together and make a ladle, right? Or forge weld them together. It'd be tough to forge weld those together. It'd be like a lap weld. Um, I would think. Could possibly be done. Uh, Deranged metal brings up a good point. The kick away method. Uh, people, if you're up on a ladder and there's people who are or up a floor above, and people are below you, and you drop something, you kick it away. Anytime I've ever done that, I've broken something that, like I've kicked it away, and it's like, oops, should not have done that. I'm more in the habit of shouting, move, incoming, or heads up, you know. What's up, Ben? Um, so I'm really digging that coal scoop idea. Get a length of bar, decorate it, punch out some rivet holes, and rivet one of them into a forged scoop. I'm really digging that idea. I think I might do that with one of them, and the other one play with. Uh, yeah, I'm really kind of digging that idea. um, find out tonight at 6 what I do in the shop. um, but I can't believe it. I filled up almost an hour with talking about aprons and shoe spats and shoes, and I guess we touched on electricity too. That's pretty cool. Uh, I can do all this. I I can do it. I'm a strong, independent blacksmith YouTuber, and I can do it. I'm telling you, if you ever use a coal rake in the shape of your hand, you'll never go without it. Right? That is one thing that I would love to do is forge a life-size Yama's hand and attach a handle to it and use it for several things, raking up coal, smacking people. Like, you want the metal hand? I call it, have one hand for loving, one hand for never mind. Steel toed Christmas gnome. Yeah, just forge welded into a block. But yeah, I can't believe I was able to pull an entire PPE aprons and shoes episode. Everything lands near the sight boss when you kick it. That's funny, deranged. But but with that, with all that, I think what I'm going to do today is move everything out to the shop so that I don't get stuck in here, uh, and I can actually get stuff done because I have about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours before I have my beta test that I got to do, and then it's in the shop, so I'll be in the shop already. Um, so with all that, guys, I guess we'll go with final thoughts. If I don't know if Sully's ready for final thoughts or if he can hear me or not. But anyway, you getting a fish? I ain't getting a fish. What are you talking about? Oh, beta. No, I'm beta testing a game. Um, but now it's time for our final thoughts. I think Sully's muted me. Sully, am I muted? Anyway, my final thoughts are obviously wear your PPE. Um, if you don't, you have nobody to blame for it but yourself if you get injured. Um, you can be safe 1,000 times. It's just that one time. It just takes that one time. It's an accident. You wouldn't even know it. It's like we're all literally one moment in time away from catastrophe at any given time. Um, so you do what you can to reduce the risks and such. Uh, hey, Paul Orchard. Um, don't forget, next week is going to hopefully be, yes, next week I believe is going to be Viking Steel. Uh, don't forget it. Don't miss it. Um, I just like to give a big, huge thank you to everybody that follows me, everybody that follows and listens to the podcast, um, everybody who helps out the channel, the moderators, the super chatters, the big, big thank you to the channel members. Uh, I may try and do some stuff with that in the future. If I get back to editing videos, what I'll likely do is upload them to the members only first, and then eventually move them to the public. And we'll see. But big thank you to the co-hosts. Today we have Sully in the driver's seat and Paper Hands Ryan in the swamp seat. They can't hear me, so um, Adam's outro is on Discord. Let me get to it. Uh, yeah, it is. All right.
Just say thank you very much for listening, guys. You can find Yames on at Island Metal Forge on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You
Hold
can
on. I might have
find
to restart
Alex
this
at
and turn the volume.
Transcendental Artist Studios on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can find me, Adam, at Speargrass.
I'm going to
Just say
restart that.
thank you very much for listening, guys. You can find Yames on at Island Metal Forge on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find Alex at Transcendental Artist Studios on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can find me, Adam, at Speargrass Forge on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. If you have any suggestions for Tool of the Week, Metal of the Week, or any other topic, you can leave them under the hashtag Metal of the Week in the YouTube community chat in Discord, or you can email us at impracticalblacksmiths@gmail.com. If you found us on Anchor, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, or Google Podcasts, we upload generally every Wednesday, or you can join us live every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's currently 12:30 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time on Monday morning. However, you should check that against your local time, and that's located at the Island Metal Forge YouTube channel. Finally, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, or give us a star rating if you found us on one of the podcasts, and we appreciate your support. Now,
Love it. All right. I loved it. All right. Thank you, everybody. I don't know. Last chance, Sully? No? Yes? No? All right. Sully's busy, everybody. All right. We'll catch you guys all later at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adios, muchachos. Let me get up in here. Y'all have a wonderful day and be safe.